This is The Space Shot, episode 81 for August 3rd, 2017. Messenger. Hey everyone, welcome to The Space Shot, your daily space history, pop culture, and news fix. I'm John Molnix. Messenger, or the Mercury Surface Space Environment Geochemistry and Ranging Mission, launched on August 3rd, 2004. Messenger performed 3 gravity assist maneuvers and 3 flybys of Mercury before entering orbit nearly 7 years after launching. The spacecraft was quite small. It had a sunshade protecting the science instruments that was about 8 feet long, barely longer than the tallest basketball players. Behind that 6 by 8 foot sunshade, engineers packed color cameras, communications arrays, and a plethora of science instruments. Mercury has an incredibly fast orbit around the Sun. It takes only 88 days for Mercury to complete one orbit, and this posed a few interesting challenges for the Messenger team. Orbital maneuvers once Messenger arrived at Mercury had to be timed to coincide with the times that the spacecraft could have its sunshade protecting the spacecraft during propulsive maneuvers. There were just a few days during the Mercurian year that this was possible, so there was almost continual work being done to keep Messenger in the proper orbit. Another interesting part about Mercury's orbit is that one day on Mercury is longer than a year. Think about how crazy that would be for Earth. 365 days of sunlight followed by another 365 at night. Forget winter is coming, total darkness would be coming for a long time. According to NASA, the Messenger spacecraft was designed to answer 6 questions about the planet. First, why was Mercury so dense? The planet is the densest of all terrestrial planets in our solar system, and studying why that was the case helped scientists understand the formation of the planet. Second, what is the geologic history of Mercury? Before Messenger arrived, less than half of its surface had been imaged in detail, and capturing an accurate map of the surface helps geologists study the history of the planet. For the third and fourth objectives, scientists were looking at Mercury's magnetic field and the structure of Mercury's core. The fifth objective was studying the unusual materials at the planet's poles. Radar imaging showed that there are bright areas where the temperature is cold enough, even on the hottest planet in our solar system, that ice could exist deep in those surface craters. The sixth and final objective was to study what volatiles are important to Mercury. By volatiles, we mean what type of gases are in its atmosphere. Mercury's atmosphere is fragile and is called an exosphere because of how small and fragile it is in nature. The orbit that the Messenger spacecraft entered in around Mercury was a very unique one that was highly elliptical. This elliptical orbit meant that it passed close to the planet within about 124 miles at the lowest point and as high as 9,400 miles at the highest point. This egg-shaped orbit allowed for the Messenger team to regulate the temperature of the spacecraft, keeping it from overheating as it passed close to the hot surface of the planet. In the show notes, I'm going to link to a Great Mission PDF that details the Messenger mission in remarkable detail, and I want to quote from that document here because of how NASA described the orbit that the spacecraft took. Quote, "As Mercury moves around the Sun, the Messenger spacecraft stays in approximately fixed orientation with its sunshade facing the Sun, so effectively the planet rotates beneath the spacecraft. Different parts of the surface are illuminated depending on where Mercury is in its year, so the spacecraft can view the surface of the planet under every possible lighting condition." The final parts of the Messenger mission saw the spacecraft controllers take the small robotic explorer extremely close to the planet's surface. Messenger's mission came to an end on April 30th, 2015, the spacecraft completing a 10-year and 8-month mission where it spent just over 4 years in orbit around the smallest planet in our solar system. Messenger impacted the surface of Mercury at 8,700 miles per hour, or about 11 times the speed of sound. To give you some perspective, traveling at that speed would take you from New York City to Los Angeles in about 20 minutes. I don't know about you, but I'm ready for air travel to get up to those speeds. Check out the show notes for more information on today's episode, and be sure to connect with me on Instagram and Twitter. Find me at John Molnix. I'd love to chat. Let me know what you think of the show by leaving a rating in iTunes or your favorite podcast app. It takes just a minute to leave a rating, and it makes a huge difference because it helps even more people find the show. I'd appreciate it if you could share the Space Shot with your friends and family and anyone that enjoys podcasts. Tomorrow, the Phoenix launches. I'm John Molnix, and I'll catch you on the flip side.